This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the best platform for helping you build your own website. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's JPR, and welcome back to another video. Christmas is the season of giving, which is why today I'm giving out buffs to almost every Pokemon that lost a Mega Evolution. I'm sorry if the title is a little misleading, and no, none of these Pokemon deserve any lumps of coal, but some of these Pokemon just aren't nearly as deserving of buffs as others, so it won't be every Pokemon, but definitely most of them. But we have to have some rules. We don't want to just fully give them their Mega powers back, so let's limit ourselves a bit. First of all, since Mega Evolutions normally add 100 points to a Pokemon's base stat total, let's do a quarter of that. I'm restricting myself to only adding 25 points at most, especially since that's closer to what Game Freak normally adds, although they usually add more like 10 to 20, except in very rare cases. Still, I think 25 is suitable. Secondly, we're not going to change any Pokemon's type. There is no precedent for a Pokemon to change types unless that type was added later on, like Steel or Fairy, or if that Pokemon received an actual form change. So, sorry Charizard, you can't be a real dragon again, the dream is dead. So it'll pretty much just be minor stat and ability changes for the most part. So with that being said, let's jump on into it. First up is Venusaur, and he's also going to be our first Pokemon to receive 0 buffs. While he may not be the most popular among the Kanto starters, he is certainly the strongest in a competitive environment. Ever since receiving its hidden ability Chlorophyll in Gen 5, Venusaur has been a consistent threat across multiple formats and generations. He is quite literally the embodiment of the "be careful who you call ugly in middle school" meme. I mean, he is kinda ugly, but he's definitely the most viable. Gaining thick fat as Mega Venusaur did allow it to become a pretty decent tank, but honestly, Chlorophyll Venusaur is such a scary sweeper that it might just be better. Charizard is pretty much on the exact opposite of the spectrum though. Popularity-wise, he's number 1, but in terms of competitive viability, Stealth Rocks ended this man's career 15 years ago. Although he definitely doesn't need a stat buff, I think giving him back either of his Mega abilities would make a huge difference. Although I'm leaning Drought over Tough Claws because then you'll at least get some benefit from switching him in, even if he just instantly dies to rocks. Weather may not be as powerful in the meta as in years past, but it's still an incredibly useful tool. Blastoise is an easy one, just give him Mega Launcher back. He already kept all the great moves that he gained in Gen 6 like Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, and Dragon Pulse, so why not? He's got the kit. As broken as adaptability is, I really think Beedrill needs it because I just think adding 25 points to its speed is not enough to save it alone. Together, this Pokemon might be alright though. Pidgeot, yes, it comes after Beedrill in the dex for some reason. Professor Oak is drunk. I think this one is very similar to Beedrill, gotta give it no guard back for Hurricane's accuracy, and I would add 10 points to special attack and 15 to speed. For a Pokemon that's supposed to fly at Mach 1, 101 speed is just not cutting it. Alakazam, this Pokemon will always be good, he doesn't need a buff. Moving on. Slowbro I feel like just needs a little extra bulk to set up with, preferably 20 added to its special defense and 5 added to HP, just so we have nice round 100s. Gengar is kinda in the same boat as Alakazam. He definitely does not need a stat buff, but I think he really does need an ability change. Now, Mega Gengar Shadow Tag is way too strong, but I do think they should reverse it back to Levitate. Curse Body does not benefit him in any way, shape, or form. You have to be slightly thicker than paper to actually get some mileage out of it. I think getting rid of Levitate was definitely one of the most unjust nerfs of all time. So with Kangaskhan, we're going to boost its speed back up to 100 from 90, put 10 into its HP for a little extra bulkiness, and the last 5 into attack for a nice even 100. I would like to see Parental Bond return in some way as well, especially since A, it was nerfed in Gen 7, and B, its other 2 abilities are really uninspired and I don't think they fit the Pokemon nearly as well as Parental Bond does. Like, honestly, why shouldn't the baby be able to throw hands without the Mega? There is literally an entire classification of baby Pokemon that are still able to fight. Get this child out of the pouch and onto the field. Pinsir I don't think will really be able to make broken again, it's simply not that good of a Pokemon. I'm just gonna put all 25 points into HP because this thing should be a lot bulkier. I don't think it's supposed to be really fast. Obviously, Aerolate doesn't work as an ability without flying type, so I think Contrary would be a suitable replacement, especially since Pinsir's final level up move is Superpower. Contrary is actually called Devil's Advocate in Japanese, and Pinsir kinda looks like a demon with his horns, so in a way it makes sense. Gyarados is completely fine and should never be changed. Aerodactyl, I think, just needs a better ability. All three are pretty lackluster. I think Tough Claws is definitely a bit over the top, but Aerolate would actually work really well here. It would give Aerodactyl access to a flying type double edge, which is way better than its next best flying move, Wing Attack. Wow, that is a disappointing drop. No, you gotta be kidding me. Ampharos, I think, needs 10 added to special attack, 10 added to special defense, and 5 added to physical defense. I think if you wanted to get wild, you could give it Transistor, Reggialecki's ability that buffs electric moves by 50%. I don't think that would stay as a signature ability forever. Slightly less wild idea, maybe Electric Surge. If you wanted something a little more conservative, maybe Fluffy because it's a sheep. Of course, that would probably turn Ampharos into more of a utility Pokemon than a damage dealer, but it could work. Honestly, just put all 25 points into Steelix's attack. I think he should hit a lot harder than he does. That's the only change, though. Scizor is a weird case. He's actually the only Pokemon whose base stat total doesn't go up when he evolves, so I think just for that he needs a stat buff, but at the same time, Scizor is already incredibly good. I would say just give it 10 points in speed, and I'll keep the other 15. I need to boost my own attack stat without hitting Gym. Honestly, the 10 added to speed is probably doing nothing for him. I just wanted him to be higher than Scyther. Heracross. I have always thought this Pokemon should be faster. It's a very fast-looking Pokemon, but only has base 85. It's just not a great speed stat for a Pokemon with so many weaknesses, and honestly, his Mega disappointed me with how it went for the slow, tanky approach. So let's just keep it simple, put all 25 into speed. Then Heracross can actually do something more than run Choice Scarf and be a more dynamic Pokemon. Other than that, Heracross is absolutely fine with his current kit. This might even be a little too much for some people. Houndoom is another one where I feel like all he needs is speed. He looks like he should be way faster. It also doesn't help that speed is one of the most power-crept stats in the newer gens. I think we could also change one of its abilities to Strong Jaw. That would get more usage out of Crunch and Thunderfang. You could maybe run a mixed attacker Houndoom, which I think would be pretty cool and unique. Tyranitar, you're fine, dude. Go away. But before it's time for the Hoenn region Pokemon, let's hear some more from our friends at Squarespace. It's never too late to head over to Squarespace and start building your own website from the ground up. Actually, you don't even need to start at the ground. You can start with one of their countless templates that will perfectly fit your style. If you're like me and you want to grow your brand as an online influencer, Squarespace makes that super simple by allowing you to easily link all of your social media pages. It's also remarkably easy to post images or videos on your website, which is a huge plus for someone like me. They also offer in-depth analytics to help you track your site's performance over time. We're heading into a new year, so why wait to start on your new brand? Head over to squarespace.com/JPR to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That link will be down in the description for your convenience. Thank you, Squarespace. Out of all the Hoenn starters, I think only Sceptile needs a slight buff. Giving it back Lightning Rod wouldn't be so bad. You switch into an electric type, you get a special attack boost, and go for a mini sweep. Maybe if you wanted something more creative, you could go with Technician. It does get a lot of niche, versatile moves it could work with, like Scale Shot, Dragon Breath, Assurance, Aerial Ace, Magical Leaf. I'm just not sure how good that would actually be. I mean, we could just go off the deep end and give it Grassy Surge or something. But if you have one for Sceptile, let me know down below, because this is a finicky one to balance. The other two, you're fine. Guard of War. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but just put it all in speed. It would pretty much be a Diet Alakazam with slightly more coverage, but that's probably the best it's gonna get. I don't really like giving it Pixelate back because that only realistically affects Hyper Voice, so I'd say do something a little more fun, like Magic Bounce maybe. Sableye. There's probably no saving this Pokemon, no matter what I do. Its stats are just not nearly good enough, which is why I kinda like it keeping Prankster and staying as a utility Pokemon. I would just buff its HP by 25 points so it stays in the game longer. It's not great. This is probably the least significant change I'm gonna give. Okay, I take it back. Mawile is probably just as bad. Great typing, but the stats are never going to be overcome. I really don't want to give it huge power back either, because then I feel like it would just become Sucker Punch the Pokemon. Intimidate is already a great ability, just put 25 points into attack. This Pokemon does need to hit a bit harder, just not huge power hard. Aggron, wow, we are really hitting a tough streak here. Honestly, these Pokemon deserve to keep their Megas, because wow, they are not good without them. I'd put all 25 points into Special Defense and give it Filter back, because this Pokemon just has way too many weaknesses. Though honestly, it's the same ability as Solid Rock, and Solid Rock fits the design just as well, so either works. Medicham, just a speed buff again. With 105 base speed, this thing would easily be threatening. It already has pure power, so no need for any other adjustments. Manectric, this is another Pokemon that I think desperately needed to keep its Mega. I'd say just drop 20 points into speed and 5 into special attack. Bringing Intimidate back would help, but honestly this Pokemon just needs a far better moveset. It's a special attacker that pretty much only has Flamethrower and Thunderbolt to use. It's pretty sad. Maybe give it Dark Pulse or Scorching Sands or something, I don't know. Sharpedo is pretty good as is. Anything that has speed boost will be fine. Except Ninjask, because he sucks. I'd say just give it 10, maybe even 5 in speed, just so it doesn't have to protect on turn 1 to become a threat. It's good, it doesn't need much. Camerupt, yeah, here's another one that I probably can't save. This thing's Mega was already better at cleaning my floors and cleaning off the battlefield. It needs more of everything, really. It's just a slow all-arounder with terrible defensive typing. So, I don't know, put 25 into HP and maybe give it Steam Engine so you could run a Focus Sash set with some sweeping potential. That's all I've got. Altaria, god, what is wrong with these Hoenn Pokemon? I'd say add 10 to HP and 15 to defense, maybe give it Fluffy to make it a more bulkier support Pokemon. I honestly just don't know what Altaria is supposed to do. Its kit is all over the place. Banette, Hoenn, god, why are your Pokemon so bad? These Pokemon all deserved regular evolutions that Game Freak couldn't take away from them. I feel like a doctor operating on heart attack victims, but I only have the qualifications to get rid of a cold. Well, it definitely needs Prankster back and 25 added to its HP, which I know is totally undercutting Sableye from earlier, but there's not much else I can do for you, bucko. Absol. Oh my god, Hoenn, I am this close to having a stroke. Once again, speed. This thing deserves way more than base 75. While giving it Magic Bounce back is probably the play, I think Intimidate would also work well, just so we can switch in more confidently. Glalie. Speed. Refrigerate. Done. Don't look at me like that. Lopunny, just put it all in attack, and I'm gonna give you Iron Fist, just to be ironic. That's it. Shut up, man. Lucario, I'd say 15 in speed, 10 in attack. I'd also give it Scrappy just to time with its aura abilities. I just feel like this man should be able to punch a ghost. Abomasnow, yeah, this guy's pretty bad. HP, that's all. Gallade, I think, needs 20 added in speed. I'm not giving the full 25 because I think it becomes slightly broken with 105. If you want, you could put the other 5 in HP, but honestly, I think Gallade would be just fine with the speed buff. Though I think we could give Inner Focus back. It wouldn't be a huge buff, but it would help in VGC where flinching is very prevalent. Ondino! Oh, ho ho. Well, first of all, its Pokemon just straight up should have been switched to Fairy back in 2013, but I'm not gonna break my own rules. That's Game Freak's loss. This is another one that's just gonna get all the points put into HP. It's basically Giant Chansey anyway. For singles, it already has Regenerator, which is pretty good, but for doubles, I think Galarian Slowking's brand new ability, Curious Medicine, would fit quite well. I mean, it's basically just the better version of Healer, which it already has. And finally, our last Mega Evolution burn victim, Diancie. I would buff its HP, but that would break the all mythicals have a 600 base stat total rule, except Arceus obviously, and Keldeo who has 580 for some reason. So my conscience is holding me back on this one. Really, all we can do for Diancie is an ability change. My ideas range from just give it Magic Bounce back to let's do something more fitting like Queenly Majesty, or just go crazy stupid and give it Misty Surge. So I'll let you decide on what the best course of action is. I mean, it's not like any of this is ever going to happen. But hey, I've given my gifts. If you'd like to give me some, then a like on this video and a subscription to the channel would really make my Christmas. Thank you so much for watching all of my videos this year. Have a happy holiday, and I'll see you guys next time.